They're just going to wave
Because
now.
that one at the minute is holding those towards the wall. Otherwise,
Is it?
mind you, they're going to get in the way when
Well,
they
the
come.
wind's going to come and, I don't know.
What do you reckon, Roger?
Well, I think there's a dilemma really.
I think take these big ones off, then whatever bits of nails there are, I can get some wire across on the existing nails, and then we can just train up some fresh
Right,
stuff.
so take that big lump off.
Yeah.
So that's that one.
Yeah.
What else? There's a load down. What's down here?
Oh, don't worry about down there.
Which is,
What's
there's another fungus thing which you can deal with,
Yeah.
and she's sprayed and she'll spray it next year, but they may not do it. That's not the
It's not,
not the blight.
No.
It's something else. Now look, the problem was, look at the wall up there.
Where? Here?
Yeah. See what a mess that's. So I mean, and what we'll do is paint that colour
Yes.
all along here,
Yes.
and then we think we can save, get some wisteria going up this side,
Yeah.
and this will recover.
Oh, the hollyhock. It's in here. It is in here. It had a little flower on it. Yeah.
Yes.
It's had 3 flowers on it.
Really?
Yeah. So it'll grow.
Because they were cultivated, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a bit bigger.
Yeah. If Jim could, on this side, get a bit tight trying to get through.
Yes, no, I think it would be silly to do that.
Yeah.
If it goes below, see that pipe? Because the loo, we use the water that comes out here, goes in there, it's not official, and it helps drive it through there because you have to go upwards, you see. Because if the pipe bursts, we're in the shit.
Beautiful, this.
Well, I think it is.
Something.
We'll all come back and have tea here. And so when we go, then they can move in and
Yes.
do the tea, whatever.
So peaceful, isn't it? It's just so peaceful.
Originally, it was founded in 1140 by King Stephen and his wife Matilda. And it was the Savignac Abbey, and the Savignacs were, and it was the 13th and last Savignac Abbey in the country. And they were trying to do everything on their 1148. They were taken over by the Cistercians, who were a completely different type of person. I'm not saying they weren't equally holy, but they were very good at raising money to build all the abbeys that they did build. They support the Savignacs wore normal clothes, including underwear, but the Cistercians, for some unknown reason, they thought it was more holy not to wear any. Well, maybe they had the same feeling as the Scots. And I had this vision of the poor Savignacs taking all their underwear off and having a giant fire. But I mean, that's just a figment of my imagination. But I live here and I know how damn cold it is, and I do wear underwear. The Abbey was dissolved in 1538, the 5th of February, by Henry VIII, or would have been by Thomas Cromwell and some of his merry men. And it was given to Henry VIII's favourite wife, Jane Seymour, given to Thomas Seymour. Oh, you can see the battens, and all those tiles on that side are nib tiles. Right. And they predated peg tiles. And I mean, they're moulded with this. They're moulded with this. You just literally clip it on. Of course, all the obviously the battens have all been renewed. And anyway, that wasn't the original shape of the roof, but that's where they came from.
How long have you been here?
19 years. And the abbot would have sat there. And then I'm very nutter on Pugin, and I thought, and this is a Puginesque piece, a crucifix, and I thought it was appropriate just to show what it was. Well, some of them are. Oh, that's a pill to keep us going, keep us alive. We'll give it to her, yes. She might need it too. They're our pills for Jill. I mean, the great thing is oak. And it shows what a wonderful product oak is. And this is probably 1550. And it's very idiosyncratic. And when I shut it, you know, and it's probably hasn't changed. And you think, how on earth does it fit? But look.
So what was knocked down on the other side?
Well, it would have been in 1541. Everything went except for the bit that the chap had the lease on. So that's why we're here today.
They did have at one stage a piece of a monk's jaw, and apparently there were a few spooky goings on, and that was here. But it was again just you're going back to the factories in the 60s, 70s, how nothing was gone. There was the remains of the monk's graveyard up like that.
You're not sure of yourself, come down backwards. I'm here to catch you, but I'm not as strong as I was. Sorry. This building is the earliest building of the lot. When we of all of them, and it's about 1160. And we know that by doing quite a lot of research and comparing it with other abbeys. Barrow on Furness has an abbey with these sort of lancet windows, and that was also a Savignac abbey. And when the Cistercians came in, they really got on with things, and they moved very quickly, and they sent teams of people. They would include surveyors and brickmakers, bricklayers, you know, they had all the facilities as a team of people. They came mainly from Normandy. When we came here, this had a horrible, massive, great concrete thing in the middle of the floor, and on top of it, it had an enormous straw boiler. It was further back from you, right to the end here, and that was theoretically to heat the house. And there was a little rubber pipe that went from here to the house. But I can tell you, we did use it for 10 days. It was pretty cold when it came through. We built this oak wall because people just walked straight in to here, and we just said, well, you know, let's forget it. And that was 19 years ago.
This part here, that room there has got the doorway that I showed you from the Abbott's house, leading into the modern building. That part is old. Again, you can see the outlines of the arches where it's been incorporated in. Again, the house in the grand style, but on a relatively small scale.
Yeah.
The mill split away from the Abbey in about 1881. Somebody, Guyon his name was. Anyway, he had two daughters that were his heirs when he died in 1690. He owned 10 manors, and those two daughters married members of the Bullock family, and one died in childbirth and the other daughter died when she only had a toddler. And so the Bullock family, who didn't seem to have any particular ability, but they did one thing right. I'm not saying they married for money, but they married where money was. And then the thing about this, not long ago, we wanted to check the stud work. That's the beams going upwards, and the plaster. We took the plaster off, and then we found that little window up there and one on the other side. So that and so we opened them up again. Of course, they've been closed when the window came in. And what we try and do when we do restoration is not make it look all new, but to make it all blend in together. And you see, we had a lot of wisteria which we had to take down the other day because the top half of the building's last and plaster, and you can see the lars coming through. So we got to deal with it. We had Tudor chimneys there, or they were later than that. They didn't survive very well, but the round chimneys. Can you see the round chimneys? Those round bricks were originally made for the Abbey columns in the Abbey church, which was a long church, was 200 feet long, facing east. And I'm not saying they were taken down at that point of time, but what must have happened when they were building it, they had more than they wanted and they were stacked away, and so they were reused. And we have kept them where possible, provided they had more than 20% life left in them, because I feel they're part of the soul of the building. And here we've got this ready for you. If you fall in, we can save you. My wife did fall in one Christmas. Oh no, it was March. That was cold, yeah. Oh, they've gone round there. They've actually gone all the way round. That's keen. So let us go round here. Well, that's the kitchen. And we opened up the two little windows either side, but the thing we're very lucky to still have is that oriel window, which is early 17th century, because you see it's all held up by wooden bits at the bottom. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And so what happened, usually the wood rotted and then they let it fall down and then they put an ordinary window in its place. So that's a very fine oriel window. Well, then you can see where we went in right at the beginning, the chapter stroke guest house. Then we went up there to where there are also Lancet windows, and you can see there where the Tudor bit went on. Can you see? You can see the shape of where they changed the shape of the roof. At one time, the incumbent of the St. Peter's, the parish church, came and was caught stealing the abbot's fish. He prosecuted him, and he went away, and he was imprisoned in Colchester prison. But after 3 years, his congregation seemed to miss him, and they wrote a petition to Edward I, and he was pardoned. Plenty of seats for you. I might shut the... Have a pew, go on. This screen, and the screen was to screen the passage of, because in about 1585 people got rather fed up with all the servants sort of sleeping together with you in that great hall. Not that this is called the Great Hall, but it's a great hall in miniature, if you like. And this screen was to screen off the passage that went from the front door through to the all the accommodation behind, which produced the food, etc. And actually I rescued this. My tombstone had been squashed by his own screech. I was somewhat younger then, and we got it up, and then Jim, there were bits missing, but he's such a brilliant carpenter that he made bits to match, and we used different bits. Some bits are old there, and then my wife, who was a picture restorer, we used a water-based paint to get an even sort of colour. That says R.B. was Richard Benyon. That was Anne Paycock, husband. Another initial here.
H, is it?
R.H.
No.
Who do you think that was? Vanity.
How old is that?
Well, it's about, it's early Charles I probably, and it would have been probably they've got similar things I think in Norwich Cathedral, but that's rather nice, and that's a sort of little Bible box. And this is a very early piece, well, about 1550, and they used to paint their furniture, and you can see when he did it, he decided it was long enough, and the pattern he cut here in half. Can you see? But that belongs to someone's collection. Then I had the idea, when we stopped the publishing company, we could start have a gallery in the city. I thought on a very simple premise that men with money in the city they often like sailing, and they might like marine paintings. And the concept was sound.
Yes.
that when the stagecoaches had a proper timetable, and they'd have a clock like that, which are very, very accurate, very simple, in every stagecoach where it stopped. They're called a tavern clock. Sometimes they're called parliament clocks, but they were a tavern clock. And you often had one in a village too, so that you, rather than just a sundial. Okay, this. Anybody know what this is here? No, quick guess.
A guard room.
A guard robe.
Yeah.
Yes, 100% right. But you know what a guard robe was. But what you might not have known, that why did they were so assiduous in filling in the spaces where they'd had locks, and when people moved they took their locks with them because locks were very expensive. Any idea?
Was it insects were coming in or
Not
something?
insects, no. No,
The
it was not even people looking in, it was the devil. They were in the smarter houses, they had what they called a single-storied hall, and above it would have been something that was the same size, and this is called the Great Chamber. I did call it a bedroom once, and someone gave me a terrible rocking. But let's start looking downwards. We've got these wonderful oak floors. And there you see that the coastal bricks are being used. It's the genuine Tudor fireplace. And then this is where I press the bell, which is very stupid really. Press the bell but nobody comes, but they did when we first came here.
Oh.
But nobody came up. No lovely chambermaid came up, so I did disconnect. Have you ever stayed at the Mermaid Hotel in Rye? And we spent the first night of my honeymoon in a four-poster. And I did ask if I could buy the four-poster next in a romantic moment. Very uncomfortable bed actually. He said no, and he did sell me a four-poster which we bought back on the back of a Sprite, fog-eyed Sprite, you know, and that's actually in the other room. But I will just show you that when we flash past in a minute. His name was Foyle, and he said, did you buy that bed in 2005? And I said yes. I said, what are you trying to sell me? He said, I want to come down and see it. And so he persuaded me, and he said, I've got something very interesting to tell you about it. And what he had to tell me about it, as it was a fake bed, painted, made by a furniture dealer, who had a much earlier bed, and the much earlier bed he used as a template, if you like, for building this one. And I've got correspondence that this chap wrote to the Earl of Derby, that's the Stanley family. That's sort of Margaret Beaufort, that was Henry VII's mother. That's her coat of arms or whatever. And so this chap then contacted, in 1842, the then Earl of Derby, the Stanley family, because he was keen to find some of his old furniture after Hampton Court opened again, and they'd all bought Georgian furniture and Regency furniture, and they thought it'd be fun to have their old furniture back. So he contacted him and said, I found a bed that's really old, and flogged it to him. So, and anyway, it was the worst. Then he kept on doing it to people, and then he came unstuck eventually, because he made a bed for the Duke of Northumberland, the Percy family, and he got his coat of arms back to front. So, but actually we have cheated, because our carpenter has actually put a bit of hardboard on it, either side, or plywood, so it's a bit more room and rather fun. That's a Gillows piece of furniture. You've heard of wearing in
Oh,
Gillows.
yes.
Oh, yes. This is much earlier, but when it was Gillows, and they had a factory up in Lancashire, and it's rather fun. And then the pictures are later, most of them here, but I like those too. That's quite a well-known painting. That is the first Duchess of Westminster, married to a chap called Bender, he was called.
Oh, yes.
Big racehorse man as
Yeah.
well, wasn't
And that's her racing with her sort of helper, who actually went on to become the master of Edward VII's yachts, the Britannia. And she's a very gracious lady, and that's fun. And she actually, not in that race, but she got a bronze medal in the 1908 Olympic Games. This is by the son that's Edward Pugin, who died at 40. His father died at 41, and I bought that, and I was very excited about it.